Hello, and welcome to the Roughneck Minute, a Movies by Minute podcast where we go over the movie Starship Troopers 1 minute at a time. I'm your host, Johan.
And I'm your other host, Matthew.
And we're at minute 112. It begins with the warrior bugs parting, and you can see Xander and Carmen on the ground. And it ends with a really tense moment with Xander and the brain bug.
Ooh, we're finally at it.
Yep, the brain bug is going to be introduced in this scene.
Ugh.
And we do have a couple notes about that brain bug.
Oh, yeah. We'll actually probably save it a little bit of them for the next episode as well, too. Because there's a lot of notes about the brain.
Yeah. So, it's not a high-impact minute, though.
Not really, no.
Yeah. But, so, just to get a lot of stuff out of the way from the screenplay, the way this is done is, first off, it's Carmen Deledier. Still. Carmen comes to after being knocked out, I guess, by a bug. I guess like when it speared her or she lost her finger. She comes to and she's laying among other dead carcasses. So there's like other dead bodies there that are just rotting that are around her. And then she hears screaming. And then she looks over and she like kind of... It says a ridge of dead bodies, but it's not clear how many there are. So when she looks over, she sees that all the screaming is coming from Deledier. And in that scene, that's where she sees the brain bug from, I guess from behind. And Deledier is screaming because she's face to face with the bug.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that, actually.
So when the workers are walking past Carmen, they're supposed to be kind of walking on top of her.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's about the only real difference between the screenplay and this one. Is it's not so much like this one, but it kind of is. But there should have been just like a mass of corpses all around them because they're in Bug City. So all the corpses are being here to be digested and broken down by the worker bugs for a later use. And so that's about it for this screenplay. It's just coming to the end. So a lot of stuff starts to become very, very similar. But otherwise, this is about the only difference there really is.
Yeah.
There's some scenes here where you This set, it is prefab, correct?
Yes.
Same as the other one, some sort of foam that's been very lightly sandblasted.
Yes, to look real and to look all sandy and everything, yes.
Yeah. You can tell there's only a few of them that look like they're actual puppets, but there's supposed to only be about 5 actual working puppets on the set.
So
in the entire movie.
Okay.
There's only about 5, right?
There's the 2 big ones. There's MechWar and Stampy or whatever the heck it was. And then there probably are other like non-puppeted things. So like people would have, or like you have like affect people with like long sticks with warrior legs on it. So so like at the scene where I'm looking at right now, where Xander is handing Carmen the knife. He hands her a knife as well too, but there are a lot of legs going around, and those could be like prop people just like kind of poking legs around in the sand and whatnot. So it'd be kind of like a long stick with a warrior leg on it,
which is something they also did on Jurassic Park. There's a scene where you see the raptor's feet, but it's really just one dude like with feet things.
Mm-hmm. Like the little click. I love that click.
Yeah, it's just like little raptor legs that he's wearing.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I asked this is because the warrior that's kind of center right on the screen at about 5108, the back looks too good to be CGI, and I think that one is a real puppet, but the rest might be CGI.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give like a little bit of focus to the eyes. So you're looking at this highly detailed insect, but it's not necessarily CGI, it's an actual puppet. But just to make you feel like all the bugs that are there are high detail.
Yeah. I mean, it's a darker room too, so the CGI can be pretty done really well, like in this dark light as well too. So a few of the legs would be CG, but I'm guessing a lot of like a few of them in certain shots, like when you see like maybe 3 or 4 legs, those are going to be props.
Yeah. Yeah, because at 5117, where you see a warrior kind of push Carmen forward, there is a leg right on the left side. It looks like just like a lead pipe that's been dipped in dirt. But I remember you were talking about this like two episodes ago, where they couldn't get Carmen to stop using her left arm, even though her collarbone was pretty much broken.
Yeah.
And here you can see she's propping herself up with her left arm. The right arm is kind of dead weight.
Well, so I'm thinking about it a little bit too, how the leg of the warrior is serrated and everything. She may be just caught that way, but yeah, she probably is just probably just bad positioning on her part.
Yeah, but it's just she is moving her left arm way too much for someone to have their collarbone kind of smashed to pieces. I mean, I only dislocated mine, and I could not use my arm for a bit.
I mean, dislocation is a different thing. I mean, if you've watched Blade as much as I have, you know that dislocation is a serious thing, and you have to sit there on the side of a building and, you know, kind of grunt your teeth and say, it's dislocated until you pop it in.
No, I know, but like just the pain of that area, because the muscles are just like kind of just shot at that point. It's really hard to move that part of your body. And the fact that she's been using it all this time is just like... It just goes to that previous minute where they were saying like, stop moving your arm. It's not realistic. And she's nah, I'm going to use it because that's what Carmen does. She's a rebel, even against her own body.
Don't look at the camera, sweetie.
Which camera? The one, this one?
Don't look at the camera, sweetie.
The one with the red light?
Sweetie, don't look at anytime I think of like someone doing something that they shouldn't be doing in a movie, I think of the little girl who played Darla in the what is it, the Little Rascals movie. And in the credit scenes you see like a good like 10-15 second montage of her looking at the camera, and then someone just yelling, don't look at the camera, don't look at the camera, don't look at the camera. And I'm thinking, Carmen, just don't look at the camera. That's my, you know, thing for something that they shouldn't be doing in the movie.
Yeah, but that happens with kid actors. I mean, I'm gonna say children in general, because every time they have a child on WWE, you see them. They take a look at the camera like a lot.
It's a sporting event, though. I mean, that's understandable.
I think it's a kid thing. Like, you're just like, what? I gotta look at it because it's over there. Like it. So it's okay when it's a kid. So Darla from Little Rascals kind of gets a pass, but when you're an actress like this, it shouldn't happen. But anyways, this in the screenplay, the brain bug coming in on the chariot bugs always was meant to be. Always was meant to be. Always was supposed to happen. Never was supposed to change.
Yeah, actually, I have it in some of my notes as well too. That specifically they made the chariot bugs for the brain to move around, because the brain it has a little bit of atrophy in its legs. It's so big that it can't move. So I mean, Verhoeven wanted the.
Well,
Jesus.
I wouldn't say it's atrophied, because you do see it. It's a little bit. They're beefy legs. It's just short.
But that's the thing, though. Like it's. But the thing is, it's not moved on its own for so long that the legs have become atrophied.
Okay, it's
what they're intending. So the chariot bugs were intentionally made for doing that. So instead of being, you know, bug money, you know, going around scouting, they were. So in the notes I have that they were intentionally used for quote unquote scouting. And also carrying the brain.
Okay.
Not taking bug money, unfortunately.
See, here's the thing I think is kind of funny about the brain bug now. I'm thinking it got big because it's eating human brains and it knows how to use the stuff it's digesting. So that's where it finds its purpose. Prior to the bug wars, it may have just been a worthless bug.
Probably, yeah. It was
It's just
probably
like,
smaller.
look at Sam, that bug. God, he's just a waste of bug.
Well,
And
so
he's
I
just
don't think
that
that's the case
he's just
because I
that
mean,
sad guy in the corner. I can't play any sports. And then like until the bug wars happen, it's like, no, is anyone gonna touch this guy? All right, I'm just gonna touch him a little bit, okay? Yummy brain. Hey guys, I know what they're gonna do next. It's like, oh, geez, there's an actual point to this guy now. Like, it's just weird because since his purpose is to digest the brain and find a use of like what it digested, prior to the bug wars, it had no purpose.
I mean, so that's the thing though. Like, are they?
Because it's
Maybe
it may have evolved too fast to be able to have legs that are useful. That's why there's chariot bugs, like the worker bugs. There's like a set of them. It's just like, oh, you guys can move this guy around. You know what I mean?
yeah, but it's not using the brains for nourishment though. That's the thing.
Yeah. But it's just like maybe it had this mutation and they never knew how to use it. So he was just worthless because there's no way to use it with other bugs.
Well, we don't know how long that the arachnids have been known to the the Federation itself as well too. They may have been in contact for hundreds of years, and the brains may have known by then. Like, imagine like the prequel, like the Enterprise to Starship Troopers, where they encounter the arachnids for the first time, and then suddenly the brains possibly have this proboscis for like eating and whatnot, and doing other things with other bugs and everything, sucking out their inner organs and whatnot. But then they come up with a new, oh, they found this person. We found out we can actually do this. So yeah, it's kind of like a Genesis kind of thing of, oh, we figured out we can do this with the brain bug. He's useful now.
Yeah.
Like maybe they had like one brain out of the whole entire thing, and like it was like a useless thing, just like a strategic. Maybe it's like a thing. You know, I'm thinking more like they're more like the Zerg from what is it what is that damn game called? StarCraft, there it is, yeah. So like, you know how they don't have computers for the Zerg, it's more just like organic minds and whatnot. This may be the same kind of thing, like a strategy, like, oh, a logistics bug of like, oh, we're going to launch Spore at that planet and colonize that planet. It would be, I don't know, but it'd be like their higher command, higher echelon strategic person who formulates how the bugs populate and whatnot. So it's probably a higher functioning species, like a higher functioning caste that like strategizes like economics. But then now, oh, it's a strategic thing.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But so a couple of things from the commentary was that it took 5 puppeteers to puppet the brain bug. That's
the brain itself, the one right in front of Xander, is a 12-foot by 10-foot puppet.
Which is immense. That's maybe 2 or 3 Snuffleupagus?
About.
Yeah, that's a pretty big bug.
I do want to say one more thing about the chariot bugs real quick. In the scene, in this particular scene, they actually put in that the chariot bugs are like kind of fawning over the brain. So they like touch it, rub up against it and everything. And there's actually one chariot bug that goes over and guards the rifle that Xander like was in front of Xander, so it can't get to it. So they're kind of the bodyguards too. You actually can see the chariot bug pulling the rifle back a little bit.
I wonder if this is more like a, what's it called, like the anglerfish type of thing. Like the brain bug is female, and then the anglerfish are like small ones, and it just always stays near the female because it tries to get absorbed by it.
Maybe, yeah.
So, anyway, on the commentary, Dina Meyer was saying that any puppeteer that was about to get into the brain bug had to slime themselves in order to enter the brain bug for some reason.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was probably a very cramped space as well, too, and the brain itself looks juicy.
Yeah.
So the reasons for that is the brain itself, the prosthetics, and I'm sorry, not the prosthetics, the puppet itself. All right, so the animatronics was the face was molded with skin flex and casted in different parts as well too. So they got put together. It was made out of green foam and clay, and all casted in separate parts just put together and everything by a guy named Steve Koch. There were separate pieces of also fiberglass which were joined together to form the underskull, and then the whole entire structure was covered in latex skin. Again, cast in pieces due to the sheer size of the animatronic.
I just think that because there was something that you were mentioning, like a meat wave, like
that's yeah. So the go ahead.
So you're going to explain the meat wave, but I think that's why everybody had to get slimed up, was maybe because of how cramped it got. If they were in there dry, they would get stuck.
Not really, no. So the animatronic itself is just a face. But they had to, because of how juicy the bug itself looked, like the animatronic itself looked, they had to get slimed up to make sure, like, if any part of them, like, rubbed up against something, it would need it to be slimy.
Okay.
So the whole entire the whole entire animatronic itself was slimy.
All right.
The meat wave itself is a CG effect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Where it kind of looks like the muscles are rippling on the brain bug.
So yeah, this person says they thought it would be interesting to have a pulsing ripples periodically moving under the flesh of the brain and the bug's head. We dubbed the meat wave.
See, but like I think it's like a 39 where the chariot bugs were. I do see the one bug that tries to, or that pulls the rifle away.
Mm-hmm.
But the brain bug seems to be able to lift itself on its own power. It just can't move around. So it's not completely atrophied.
Well, I mean, you can lift yourself up if you're atrophied as well, too. You just won't be able to move.
Yeah, but that much weight?
I guess. I don't know.
I just think it evolved so fast that it wasn't able to use its legs anymore.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. But yeah, you see right there at 49, there's a bit of a meat wave right there.
Yeah. You even see gross. You can see it more when it's actually coming in from the cavern opening.
Mm-hmm.
Because that part is just complete CGI, and you can see it ripple with the meat. We'll say that. So on this,
they were actually. Oh, go ahead.
So on this scene with the introduction of the pulpit, Dina Meyer on the commentary, she's like wondering where the hell they came up for the inspiration of the brain bug. And Verhoeven didn't have the exact words, but he said he wanted it to look hermaphroditic.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looked both male and female parts.
In fact, I will splice in at this point his word for it, which is a great word.
Yeah.
He basically just says vagina, but I love the way he says it. Right here.
Vagina.
And here.
Vagina.
And here.
Vagina.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird the way he says it, but in the commentary, Dina Meyer, the way she describes the design, she says it looks like a vagina coming out of a butt with a penis.
Yeah, and that's what Verhoeven said as well too. He basically he said he was into biology, so he wanted the brain bug to look like a giant intestine and have the front of it look, a big like hollow folds with a pointed proboscis. Both of them are very sexually suggestive.
That's a little bit creepy. That's like you ever played that game Catherine?
A little bit, yes.
It's kind of like that. Like every boss seemed to be kind of sexually what's it called? God dang it. I can't think of the word now. You just used it.
Suggestive?
Yeah, sexually suggestive.
There we go.
Like a lot of the monsters there seem to be sexually suggestive, other than the sheep. But it's like that. It's like Schrodinger's thing.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, regardless, it's creepy, to say the least. Plus, it
Yeah.
has multiple eyes. That just makes it look even weirder.
So, yeah, they actually modeled those eyes off of a tarantula, and they were made...
Bowling balls?
No, actually. The eyes were cast out of high-gloss urethane, misted with silicone oil during the filming to make them look reflective and alive.
Okay.
The mouth itself was made out of skin flex, and they had air bladders attached to either side of the underskull that would be manually operated with little hand bellows to make the bug look like it was pulsating. So that time when it goes, it actually is bellows.
Yeah, it looks like the gills of a crab.
A little bit, huh?
Yeah, it's like the one part of a crab that you're not supposed to eat because like it filters a lot of the microbes and bacteria. It's like underneath the eyes, right below, right next to like what looks like a little tusk.
Mm-hmm. So, those are its feeder little things, feeder feelies.
Yeah, but they don't move as much, and I'm not quite sure if they're facing upwards or downwards. It looks like it's facing upwards, and that's why I say it looks like tusks.
Mm-hmm.
And
then the proboscis itself, because we can see it towards the very end of this minute, the proboscis was puppeteered with cable mechanisms. The ADI crew recall that they made a number of triple-jointed cable-controlled palps that operated from inside the puppet head through what looked like a T-shaped motorcycle handbar. The exterior of the proboscis was molded with translucent vacuum form and then airbrushed. So it's pretty gross looking, especially when it's covered with probably the same the goo that they used for the dissection as well too.
What was it called? That's right.
What was it called? The super slime?
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking
Ultra
about
slime
the
or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, remember we could buy a gallon of that stuff.
$500, man.
Yep. No, I think I'm still okay.
But yeah, so I mean, it was a big puppet, and most of the other parts of it, like when it's coming into the thing, were CG. But this scene especially just creeped you out because yes, it was an air bladder filled puppet that was slimy, gross, and moved around with 5 people that needed to work on it.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, man, that's a
lot of work. Yeah.
Tippett Studios, ADI, and everything, they did really good work.
So it ends kind of at the last moment is where, well, you can see Xander knows he's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And the last second is pretty much the face off where Xander's going to look right at the bug and say his last rites, essentially.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to say before we end it, though, Verhoeven, actually, because in the book, there really wasn't any there wasn't any really description of the brain at all. This whole entire thing, the brain itself, was a Verhoeven design. So Verhoeven came up with it. He kind of wanted it. He thought of it as a Lovecraftian description of a great old one. And the brain bug was pulpy, horrible creature that Paul always thought as a god king, Cthulhu-like. And he, brain bug is pretty much like as he put it, does a nasty job of sucking people's brains out. So there are some human sacrifices happening as well too. But yeah, I mean, this does look a little bit Cthulhu looking.
I'm trying to think, like, which one do you think he was trying to model it after, or he was just saying make it look Lovecraftian?
I say make it look Lovecraftian because I'm looking at a picture right now of the brain in sand, and it has the glossy eyes with the mouth, and it looks. I mean, I want to say maybe Yig. No, not Yig.
Yig has multiple eyes.
Yeah,
well, multiple eyes.
What was the mouth one? The dude with the big mouth.
Azathoth.
Azathoth, I think so.
I guess the one that has like basically like a circular row of teeth in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, I don't know, like it just made me think of that a little bit. But yeah, the eyes definitely look something out of Lovecraft a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that a bit. All right. So that's pretty much where the movie ends at this point.
Not the movie.
Well, okay. So that's pretty much where the minute ends at this point. Yeah. So you have anything else to add here, Matt?
Oh, just basically that last part. I mean, this thing looks disgustingly gross.
Yeah. I think that was the intention. It's just supposed to look gross.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so where can they find you, Matt?
You guys can find me at Alt10Matt pretty much anywhere on the internet, from Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, anything like that. I've been playing a lot of Watch Dogs on my computer, and also Ghost Recon Wildlands because Sam Fisher is in it, and they brought Michael Ironsides back for that.
All right. You guys can find me on Twitch and Instagram at JDASHD26. You can find me on Twitter at OMG It's Johan. You can also follow us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Podcast Addict. Please like and subscribe. Visit us on our website at roughneckminute.podbean.com for show notes and back episodes. You can also follow us on Twitter at roughneckmin, that's MIN. If you'd like to continue the conversation in our Facebook group, it's the Roughneck Minute Billet, BILLET. I've been your host, Johan.
I've been your host, Matthew.
And we'll see you on the Bounce Troopers.